Hi you guys, welcome to my crafty space. Alright, so the last few cards I've created have been primarily die cuts with some ink blending, creating backgrounds, kind of simple, but a few different techniques and skills involved on them. Now I think I want to do some coloring. I haven't Copic colored in like 5 cards, so yeah, my brain like just kind of just flipped a switch and now I want to do some coloring. It's always a little just because, you know, just figuring out Copic combos and creating a scene. There's usually a lot, there's a lot that goes into coloring and making a scene card, but I really want to do that. I have LDRS in mind, so let me go and look at those stamps. Okay, so this is primarily my scene small image for scenes bin, and it has a few different companies in here. As you can see, I have like the Greeting Farm and Honeybee stamps, so on and so forth. But I think I want to just do LDRS right now. So let's see what we have. All right, this is all LDRS. And what I'm doing is pulling out possible stamps that I could possibly use for my card. And then I'll further reduce that. And now I'm about to further dwindle this pile because obviously I'm not stamping all of these images. If this is your first time on my channel, if you don't know, I only make A2 size cards. That's just me. That's just what I do. So I already know that this is the amount of space that I have to work with, and my card, my scene, needs to fit within this. So I think I want to do something with Santa. That's kind of what came to mind. And usually I make scenes, well, the scenes I've done in the past have included rabbits and people. So I'm thinking maybe I want to play with the bears this time around. Let me see. This house is larger than I thought. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do what I'm thinking, but let's see. I love LDRS stamps. They're just so cute. Okay, so this doesn't give me much space at all. And you guys know I like to layer, so I'm going to end up cutting this down a little bit. So there's that. Oh dear, very sticky. Possibly, I'm not sure. I might. Don't know. This little guy. This little guy can be in line. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but what I'm doing is, what I have in mind is Santa's like cottage slash house, and people taking pictures with Santa Claus. So I'm going to turn this bear here into Santa, have a cute little line here of kids lining up to see him. And you know what? We need an adult. So I'm going to also use this bear. And this is not an elf, but it is very small, so it counts. So this can be a little elf, like running along to help Santa, possibly. I'm thinking it should be holding a present. So I can use one of these. I could use one of these elves, but because these are all animals, I'm not going to use the human. I will, however, use the sign for the North Pole because it is super cute. So now I'm going to stamp this out and get to coloring. Okay, so I'm going to stamp out all of my images a couple times because we already know with coloring, you definitely want to do more than one image just in case there's an error. And everything is going to be cut out with either my scan and cutter dies All right, now I am about to make this adorable bear into Santa. Again, I am not an artist. I'm just going with the mojo here. So I want to make a mustache. And I'm going to try to make it with the line that's already here for the bear's mouth. You know, Santa has like that interesting mustache. I'm laughing because I can't believe I'm doing this. And now I want to make the beard. And there's so much fur and stuff going on here. I'm just going to use this line here. And honestly, this is as good as it's gonna get. And I'm dying because I just made this bear into an old man. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see how this looks. Now I'm going to take my multi-liner to go over the area that I just penciled. And we have Santa. Okay, now I'm going to give Santa a shirt. Now, should I give Santa a shirt? I'm trying to think, because I'm not going to put pants on him. He's already going to have the hat. So much. So much. I'm wondering, let's see. If I draw a line here. It's hilarious. We know it's Santa Claus. He doesn't need to have a shirt or anything. I am done coloring, pretty excited. And you guys look, I barely had to color on my duplicate images, which I'm pretty thrilled about because that just shows that I'm getting more comfortable with coloring and my skills. This bear, I didn't really put in a lot of work with coloring because I didn't want to ruin it because of the little Santa beard I gave him. I just wanted to leave it a little plain. But overall, I'm really excited about all of these images. Now I'm going to run these through my scan and cut. All right. Move that to the side. And I hear a cat. Okay. That's Sarah. Are they both on my chair? Oops. Moment of truth. Flawless. I love it. The thoughts that I had in my head, oh my gosh, like just completely realized. Look at this scene. Good grief. I don't even want to cover up anything. Like, I really don't. So I need a hat for the little mouse, and I decided to just stamp out this small Santa, and I'm going to take the hat from his head and put it on my little adorable mouse. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am done with this card. I'm over the moon because this took a lot of work. Now, this was actually a record for me because I actually finished this card in under 3 hours. I know that sounds like a lot of time, but for this scene card, especially for it being my first time creating this card and playing with some of these images and coloring, so on and so forth, and I did stop a little in between, that's not that much time. I'm going to do a recap so you guys can see what I used, because while I did record bits of me creating this card, I didn't just do it straight through. I used so many Copics, you guys, you have no idea. So after I stamped out all of the images, then I took out my Copics. So here are some of the Copics that I colored with. There's only a few I put back, but for the most part, I used these here. And oh my goodness, it was, I had to make a little list. I'm like, okay, I'm going to color this bunny. The ears need to be a color, the cheeks need to be a color, the fur need to be a color. It's always just more than one color, and then I always use more than one marker to get one color. So it was definitely an adventure, but it was fun. I'm glad I just stuck to my guns. I knew what I wanted to do, and then I figured out some colors, and then I just went with it, and the process was pretty, not effortless, but it was easier. So if you're trying out a skill, just keep going, it will become easier. So I used the country corner accessories. That's where I got the wreath from, and the adorable present that Santa is holding. And the wreath I decided to put on the door there to make this cabin look holiday-ish. The Berry Hoppy stamp set, which is new to me. I used this adorable bear here, and this bear is what I used to create Santa. Yeah, you guys, I'm hilarious. So I made Santa Claus by changing the mouth into a mustache and a beard, and I just rolled with it. And although I laughed a lot, it was just a lot of fun. And even my fiance was like, oh, look at you. You're an artist. That's really cool. And then I added this cute little Christmassy Santa hat, which really just made him look complete. Oh, I'm sorry. And I used this adorable little rabbit here. Like, how cute. This pose is completely perfect for being in line, waiting for Santa, waiting for the present, or waiting to hop up on his lap. This set here, I used the Happy Holidays sentiment, which the font is just so perfect. Like, it it blends into the card, but it also just stands out. And I'm gonna be honest, it looks like Disney. It reminds me of Disney, and it's just so cute. I just loved it. I had to use one of these sentiments from the Santa's Workshop stamp set because these are just so cute. And I knew I wanted to play with this North Pole stamp. Now, this is what I would call a California Christmas, or, you know, a regular Christmas in Michigan where it doesn't snow on Christmas. I know, ho-hum, right? But that's okay. That does not mean you still cannot take pictures with Santa Claus. You just don't have any snow to play with. So that's what I used from that set. The City Sidewalk set, I ended up using this Santa hat here, like I said, and that's what I used to put on my Santa. The Log Cabin set, I used this cabin, which coloring, it was a little daunting, but as you saw on my 2 sheets of stamped images, I barely had to color my second cabin. I just kind of like knew what I needed to do to get the colors that I wanted, and I think I did a pretty good job coloring this cabin here, the trees, and, you know, this little chimney. So as you can see, the chimney is like separated. Now, I didn't have to draw permanent lines. I could have just drawn temporary lines for my scan and cut because that's what I used to cut on my images, but I just made them permanent. And when I went to fill this in with gray, because I just didn't want to use brown. I mean, I could have, but I just used gray. Plus it picked up the stones down here. And I wanted the red, just to pick up the red and the peppermint knots that I created. And I like it. It kind of stands out a little bit, but the colors go well with everything else in the card. So I think it looks fine. And then I use this bench. That's the bench I have my Santa sitting on top of. This Snow Much Fun set is adorable. I took this little mouse here and I turned those ice skates that the little mouse is on into elf shoes and put a little hat on that mouse and made it just, you know, a happy little elf, like running to help Santa. How cute, right? And then I took this adorable fox here. I got rid of the ice skates by masking, and this fox is just so happy and cute. She's just giggling away while she's waiting to see Santa in line. I used the Santa Pal stamp set here for the Santa hat. I stamped out the Santa and I stole the hat and I put it on my little mouse. I ended up bringing in this country house set last because I wanted to do some clouds. I just felt like the sky was a little empty sky, aka my background. And yeah, I thought those just filled in my space nicely. And this is basically a 1-layer card. Well, yeah, I guess you would call this a 1-layer card, even though I didn't stamp directly on my panel. What I did do, however, is I took this piece of Nina Solar cardstock and I took one of my rectangle dies, I placed that down, and then I did some ink blending with my blending brush to get this really nice light blue background, and then I just affixed everything onto it. And I loved how these colors from my images pop against that light blue. And that's it. Now I do need to put something on the inside here. I do want to stamp a sentiment and maybe do an additional cutie on the inside here, but I'm not doing that tonight because, y'all, it's like 2 a.m. and I need to go to bed. So hope you guys enjoyed my California Christmas card, and every time I look at this I just get so happy. Hope you guys are prepping for the holidays also. All right, so hope you all do something crafty that makes you happy, and I will talk to y'all soon. Okay, bye.